Today I'm gonna show you how I made this. Hey guys, I'm Dary and welcome again to another filmmaking tutorial. So first, this is a filmmaking tutorial, not only a VFX tutorial. So it won't be too detailed on the VFX side, but rather a general take on how to achieve this scene. So it will be from the director's standpoint to the cinematography down to the editing. But don't worry, if you have a little bit of background in VFX, you should be able to follow these steps. Before I start, be sure to subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and click the bell icon. So game, let's go!
Let's go!
We shot this scene 3 years ago as part of our promotional video. That time we only had the Canon 700D, a kit lens, 50mm lens, a tripod, a reflector, a green screen, and a chair. The first shot is our friend here, Aaron, looking like he discovered something. On the side, we have an assistant pulling down the plant so the actor is visible. Then hold it still when Aaron pushes it aside so it won't bounce back. The first problem we had, medyo madilim yung part na to ng gubat, so we had to increase the ISO a little bit that resulted in a lot of unwanted grain or noise. Okay lang naman because I'm confident na we can fix it in post. Next shot is our Diwata na lumulutang. I asked her to stand on a chair, then from a squat position, she slowly stands upright while turning. We did the same thing for the close-up shot. Lastly, the wide shot of the two characters. While shooting, I didn't know yet if I will change the background or not, so I shot him on a green screen. And then I took one without for safety. Here I instructed Mitch to jump a few times, then I took a photo of her mid-air. I also took a shot specifically to capture the flow of her dress, which I ended up not using. But it's important to take as much coverage as you can for safety.
Yan lang ba, Mark? Kaya mo, Mark?
Bruh. Bruh.
Now in editing, for the first shot, I fixed the noise by using a plugin called Neat Video. So first, apply Reduce Noise Effect, click Options, then select an area that has a visible noise level. Remember, the area must be uniform. Then click Auto Profile. Now switch to Noise Filter settings to see the result. Awesome. You may play with the settings if you want to increase or decrease the amount of reduction. Just don't push it too much as you might lose some details. If that's the case, you may bring it back with sharpening. But I often skip that because most of the time I get a satisfactory result. Hit apply. One of the common issues I had with my old Canon 700D was the low quality of details. It shoots 1080p but it doesn't look clear enough, especially when uploaded on YouTube. I came up with a very simple solution by using Unsharp Mask, which is both available in Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro. First, set the amount to the maximum, which is 500. Now it looks sharp, but we want to avoid that thick sharpening that looks very amateur. It doesn't look good when the separation of contrast becomes too obvious. So lower the radius to 0.5. The key here is to make the small details look fine. Until now, I find this effect very helpful, especially when I zoom on a 4K image or when I have to shoot on 1080p for slow motions. Now we have a decent image. I have 3 objectives for this shot. First is to add haze on the background. Second is to give her wings. Third is to add particles. Let's start with haze. First, I separated the subject from the background. I did it by manually masking the subject. Now I can add an adjustment layer between the background and the subject and do whatever I like. For the wings, first I track the part of her back where the wings will be attached. I applied the motion to a null object. Now all I need is a wing design. I found this free wing design by Frozen Stocks. I imported it to my composition, turned it into a 3D layer. I set the anchor point to the base of the wing, so when I rotate the object, the base remains in place. Match the position to the actor's back. Then parent the wing to the null object so it follows the movement. Animate the rotation so it turns along with the actor. Duplicate the wing, then adjust the orientation. Add glow effect. Another glow on the base. Now some parts of her body must reflect the light coming from the wings. I created an adjustment layer, masked the part of her back, then added curves and hue saturation effect to increase the brightness. I also had to add light on the side of her arms to really sell the effect. Same thing I did with her back, but masking must be precise. Finally, I added a particle effect. It's a long process, so I will not include it here, but you can find a lot of tutorials online. I just repeated the process for the close-up shot. Now for the wide shot. First thing to do is to prepare all the materials that I need. Most of the elements in this shot will be a still photo except for the guy, so I decided to do everything in Photoshop. I created a new project. I imported the photo of Mitch, then I masked her out. For the background, I did photo manipulation, combining different stock images of forest, trees, plants to create a setting that's close to what I visualized. I took a screenshot of the guy, then placed it into the composition. That way I can finalize the positioning. Add some plants on the foreground. There we go. Now on After Effects, I imported the PSD file. Select composition, retain layer sizes, then check editable layer sizes so I can further manipulate each layer separately if I have to. Using Puppet Warp tool, I animated our Diwata to give her subtle movements. I animated her movement. I added the wings. Now she's floating. Next, I added the guy. I used key light to remove the background. I matched the color. Then I added elements such as haze, light rays, and smoke to give depth and atmosphere, to make it feel more alive. And lastly, the particles. Okay, now it looks good, but to make it more convincing, I will add a very subtle camera movement. Turn all your layer into 3D. Then add a camera. Now, animate the position of the camera. Create a keyframe on the very start, then go to the last frame. Adjust the Z position or the third number on the position. This will allow me to move the camera forward or backward. Now the camera is moving away. But it doesn't look 3D yet. That's because all the layers... Malos! That's because all the layers are at the same distance. Okay, let's go. So yon. What I'm gonna do is one by one, I will move the background layers away from the camera and the foreground layers closer to the camera. But by doing this, the layers at the back will become small and the closer layers will be larger because of the perspective. I'll fix this by rescaling it back to its original size. So before I start, I took a snapshot of the current composition as reference so I can always toggle back and forth for the comparison. Perfect. Add the color grading and we have the final result. And that's it. I hope you guys learned anything from this video. There will be more contents coming, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And also follow me at Dary.o. See you in the next video.